making some 1-ounce jigs today. Hopefully I can show you a little bit of my process, what they'll look like when I'm done. Well, I have the lead pot warming up right now. That's going to take just a little bit. And my hooks that I use, that's Eagle Claw 570 size 4 for these 1-ounce ball jigs that I'm using. I'm all warmed up here, got all the lead melted down. Just like I said, once again, it's just a regular 1-ounce ball jig. Take the hook and set it in the mold, close the mold, listen for the click to make sure you got it closed all the way. Fill the reservoir up. That was actually an incomplete pour. It didn't pour the whole jig. We'll try again. Have a little faith that maybe I got it that time. That's pretty much all there is to pouring these jigs. Alright, so what you need to clean these jigs up with, you just need a regular pair of pliers. Flat nosed pliers or needle nose will work too. You're going to get a hold of the top of the jig, work the sprue off. Once it's off, you can see that, if you can, you have a little bit of lead here still poking up on the top. It'll have to be knocked down. You don't necessarily have to take that off, but if you want good looking ball jigs when you powder coat them, it's more for aesthetics more than anything, and look. Then you take your X-Acto knife and you can start to clean it up just a little bit. The flashing around the bait keeper. And then you're going to want some kind of file. That's a metal file, or you actually have a fingernail file that actually works too. Or you can just go put it on your belt sander lightly, take that down. That's the fastest way to do it, which is what I'm going to do. I use just a regular 1-inch belt sander, cheapest you can get. But as far as bait making goes, this thing is perfect for that. You don't need anything any bigger or more expensive. This is the cheapest one that I could find at Harbor Freight. You're just going to lightly take the belt sander and knock that down on the top. It's as simple as that. It don't take any more, and you have a perfect ball jig. So what you need to powder coat, of course, you need your powder paint. I'm not going to be dipping these into a fluid bed. I'm just going to shake some on with a paintbrush, just a cheap acid paintbrush. What you need is a pair of hemostats, and you need a cheap heat gun. You're going to turn that on high, and you're going to warm the jig up. jigging the hemostads. It don't take too long. Just enough to get it hot so the paint will stick. I'm going to be doing black and silver. It's plenty hot enough. You come in with your black. Come over with your silver. And just like that, you have a black and silver jig. I'll be doing some other colors, but yeah. Let me slow down here a little bit and show you how I'm simplifying things. I can't take credit for this. This actually come from Adam over on DG YouTube channel. Adam's got a lot of great tips. I picked this up from him from watching his videos. So what you need is shrink tubing, 1/8 inch, and you're going to warm the jig up, set the shrink tubing on, shrink the tube around the eye. It's going to set on the eye. You're going to shrink it down. Then you see I started dipping these disco purple ones. You have to start and keep it loose so you can dip them in the jar. It's going to look a little bit like this. It's going to be a little noisy with that heat gun going, but I'll show you how it turns out. We'll warm the jig up. You keep them eyelets clean and you save yourself a lot of time by putting that shrink tube over the eye. Once you get it warm, set the shrink tube on. Shrink. You've already loosened that powder paint up and dip it right quick and then back out. I'll use just a little more. Alright, and then the second you're done dipping, pull it off and you have a clean hook eye. That's how I simplify the process on making jigs. Powder coating them. 350, and when you're preheated, put your jigs in and bake them off for 20 minutes. And after 20 minutes, you can pull them out and let them cool and you're good to go. You can either hang them inside the oven on the rack, or you can make a jig and stand them up in the jig and then set the jig on the rack, which is what I do the majority of the time. The jig is just inch angle iron cut in half with holes drilled in it with little bolts and wing nuts, and then you can take and set the jig in and set them in on the oven rack. Makes things a lot easier instead of trying to hang them and keep them separated. I hope you enjoyed. I hope I was able to help somebody out, and I'll catch you next time.